about the veteran ship hands, because I
Yes.
think
Fun.
that's going to
So much
start
fun.
plugging this hole that they have where
Mhm.
you have people that are either, more casual players or maybe less skilled players or whatever, and they look at the dungeons, especially the veteran dungeons, and they're like, whoa, no, 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 I can't do that. Forget that. Or they don't want to put in the time, they don't want to put in a couple hours for a run that may not even work out and so on. Not that many people are running adventures, so it's a little bit harder to get adventures to pop and that sort of thing. But the ship hands, the veteran ship hands, the beautiful thing is they can figure it out solo
Yeah.
or with one or two buddies. I think that's a really good thing to be coming in drop four, and I think that's going to be very, very helpful.
Now,
Some
There,
I was gonna say
yes.
something else about the dungeons that since we're on the topic of it is comparing it to WoW. You can't be a new player and go into a dungeon with your top level character or like with your friend and go and just the two of you rush through it. And you can do that in WoW, but you can't do that in WildStar because everyone gets auto leveled to the same spot.
Yep.
It's impossible. Or I mean, sorry, it's not impossible. We've seen the solo runs, but it's very, very improbable and very, very difficult for you to do it without 5 people. And so it's kind of got this like difficult entry level for new players to come in and try to do a dungeon because all these people are level 50
Yeah.
and they don't want to turn around and rerun it and not do it for some sort of reward or something like that, or because they're auto leveling down. So it's not easy anymore. It's still difficult content.
Actually, I want to interject real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
You can actually enter low-level dungeons and choose not to rally to the instance level and run your friends through at level 50.
Can you really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I smell power leveling.
Guess who's
Yeah,
new? I'm apparently a noob. I'm sorry. I'll drink on my behalf.
My new strategy for my ults is actually to have someone run me through Stormtown layer until 25 when I got my hoverboard.
Now, there is one thing that I wanted to ask you, Kel, is you have been running the veteran ship hands and collecting a smorgasbord of data on the loot drops and everything. And do you feel that they are able to gear a player out for raiding without having to grind a veteran everything in terms of getting best in slot gear?
Definitely. That you definitely can. The loot bags you get at the end of your gold runs, if you get a gold medal, you end up getting a total of about 12 to 1500 renown each run. That's each run can take. Yeah, each run can take about 20 to 15 minutes. Last I checked on the PTR, once you have a gold medal and all of the veteran ship hands, including Fragment Zero, you actually have access to those imbuement items that they took away from Drop 3 that they meant to put out for Drop 4 for renown. So,
Okay.
So your imbuement items, your claw, if it's a stalker, your bloody Xenias, all those, last I checked, were on the PTR for once you get gold. So you start out, you have blue gear. I am level 55 gear. It's a little bit less good than what we have for crafting blues right now on live, but you can get that for renown without any kind of requirement whatsoever, and then work your way up to getting gold in all the veterans, and then getting your imbuement gear, which is a huge help.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that you can get renown even while running solo veteran ship hands, so that's going to help a lot if you don't have a guild quite yet, but still want to grind them.
And keep in mind that you gain more renown and experience if you're leveling with someone through the mentoring system. And I'm not sure if you get more glory that way as well. I haven't actually tested it on the PTR. Can anyone confirm that or deny that?
I haven't confirmed it, although glory mostly is tied to I believe the veteran dungeons and the raids. So you can't really mentor at that point.
I thought it was
since
ship hands.
I'm
I
not
think it's
on
only
the
adventures and
PTR,
dungeons.
tell me about glory.
So glory is a new currency that's coming into drop 4 or drop drop 4. They're gonna move around some of the currencies. Currently on the PTR, Elder Gems have kind of moved to more of a congratulations, thank you for playing type of currency. Some of the items have moved and shifted over to different vendors for different kinds of currencies. Like Renown picked up some Elder Gem items, and all of your raid gear has moved from Elder Gems to, I believe, either Renown or Glory. Glory, you accumulate it while you're doing raids and dungeons, so it's an extra reason to go into this content to help you fill out what you need for gear or other really cool elusive items.
Okay. All right. Very awesome. Now, in terms of the glory gear, have you guys felt that it is worth spending the glory on that? Nifty, why don't you take this one?
Well, I don't think the glory vendor's in the PTR right now, so we weren't able to check what gear there is. But what I believe is that all the gear from the Elder Gem is going to be transferred to the glory vendor, so I think it'll definitely be worth it getting it.
So, okay, so because I'm still really confused about how glory is supposed to work because I haven't looked into it as much. So
I just explained it.
I know you did. I was doing something else. I wasn't paying attention to.
The way it's going to work is you're going to get glory from, you have your dailies, you have your ship hand, PvP, dungeon, and adventure dailies. Doing your dungeon daily is going to be one way to get glory. From what I've been told, I haven't experienced this yet myself, doing objectives within raids and dungeons is also another way to get glory, as well as completing them. Nifty was right. They are actually taking all the gear, all the raid gear that was on the Elder Gem vendor, they're removing it. It's actually not going to be in the game at all anymore. They're adding new gear, brand new gear about that IM level that goes in that IM slot for GA level and Datascape level, and they're putting it on a new vendor for glory, which will only require, the GA level gear only requires you to kill X89, which is a step back from the current GA gear for Elder Gems. It requires you to kill bosses all throughout the raid.
Interesting.
So that's maybe better itemized gear?
It is better itemized gear. It's supposed to be more clearly defined for who it's for, and the class gear in the raid. If you do not know this yet, they are introducing a token system to
I saw
Wildstar.
that. Yeah, I saw that.
And you're going to get those off the vendors right by that. The Elder Gem vendor is mostly going to be a vanity item thing other than your ability and tier points and your initial Genesis key for attunement. And they're adding stuff like the Boombox 1.0 loot that they're going to be removing since they're introducing the Boombox 2.0 loot table moving forward. All the 1.0 loot table is going to be available through the Elder Gems now, sans the Luminous Equibar.
Okay.
Someone in the chat is asking if there is a glory cap for a week.
So I noticed this when I was doing PTR. The only cap that's still in effect is the
Elder Gem.
Prestige.
Oh, Prestige.
No, Prestige. Elder Gem still has a cap as well. It's still pretty high. Prestige still has a cap of 5,000. I noticed because you can, as long as you have the money, you can keep purchasing the additional currency. So I wanted to see, is there a cap on this stuff? I didn't notice a cap on Glory, Renown, and every other currency except for Prestige. And if there is one, it's stupid high.
Now, is that just for the PTR though that we don't?
Yeah,
have
that may
That's
very
a
well
good
be
point.
just for PTR.
Yeah, because the
But so far it's been reflected on live where Prestige does have a hard cap, and so does Elder
it
Gem.
does.
But I don't believe anybody's mentioned having a hard cap on Renown.
Like, I have guildies that have several 100,000 renown, so that's definitely that's definitely not an issue.
Wow.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you raid, you get renown just like from sneezing. It's insane. Seriously, it's ridiculous.
Trash mob 300 Renown.
So our first giveaway did happen, and
Did I win?
no, you didn't. You're not eligible.
You win nothing. Good day, sir.
Good day, sir. You lose.
Oh, we can't win if we're on here? I gotta log off.
Joining Twitch chat now and send.
All right, so the winner is Divine Aware, I believe that's how you say. I think that's actually Flow X, if I remember correctly. So Flow X has been doing a phenomenal job at setting up community events and things throughout the last couple months. So he definitely deserves to win this.
All right.
I will be messaging you via Twitch, and you can pick from one of the 3 prizes: a keychain, a lanyard, or a T-shirt.
So it's like a secret raffle. You don't even know you're in there, but you're in there.
Well, the way that you're gonna get it is by following the channel and just chatting in the chat, and it's pretty much the way that Wildstar does their stuff. So I figured I'd just copy it and make it easy. So
Sounds fair. Let us know you're here. Tell your friends on Twitch or Twitter, but then you'd have a slight lower chance of winning. So forget all that. Just keep talking.
it's okay. It's okay.
So I
go
would
ahead.
like to point out the first 2 people who won, because he rolled this 3 times before he got a winner. The first person who won was Nifty, and the second person who won was me. But since we're not eligible, he did it 3
I was like, what the
times.
heck? I was like, what the heck? This
Got
is
no
stupid.
We're pulling back the veil here.
Yeah.
It's all rigged.
Now,
It's like,
keep in mind we have a limited
The next
number
minute,
of T-shirts, and sizes are just kind of what I have. So if you win a T-shirt, it is first come, first serve. So if you won one and you want a T-shirt, suggest a size. I was only given medium and large, so sorry, super skinny people. I can't accommodate you.
You could always go to Pinterest and like cut it up and do little cool things for it.
That's true. You probably could. You probably
put it on the back
could.
of a jean jacket.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Like an old school punk.
If you end up doing that, put it on Twitter, please.
Okay, so I think the only person that we really haven't heard from in terms of thoughts on the game is Krug. So
I am Krug.
So
He doesn't have opinions. He doesn't count as a human being.
I am
This
He's
isn't
on
a
the
show.
road.
You guys can treat me like a person.
That's
You
okay.
realize that,
All right,
right?
Krug. What has been your most memorable moment in Wildstar?
And you're
So-
not drinking. Just
No, I'm not. This is just
Use
I'm
your
normal.
words.
Words are
I
hard.
did say this. I did talk about this on our podcast, and I'll say it again here. Do you guys remember a while ago on the one of the weekly streams that Wildstar used to do? They had a like best moments in Wildstar or something like that, and one of those was a low-level Esper killing a 50 spell slinger, and everyone was like, lol, 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 like skill counts in this game. And then maybe like 2 or 3 weeks after that, that same thing happened to me. I was like level 34 and I killed a level 50 spell slinger, and I don't know how. And I was just so I like ran up to him. First of all, I was right outside Thade, and he runs out of Thade, and I'm just like standing there like hi. And then he shoots me, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna fight back. So I fought back. We run around. He gets to really low health, realizes he's about to die, and just starts sprinting away. I catch up to him, kill him, and I'm like, oh, this is great. And so I go on Facebook and I start, Facebooking Indigo and Doc. I'm like, I just killed. And I took a screenshot and I sent it to them. And while I was doing all of this, he respawns in Thade and runs back and kills me. Like, I
Nice.
wasn't even looking at Wildstar. And it's just like, oh.
Worth
Well, I
it
guess I
still.
deserve
Don't
that
worry
one.
about it.
But that's the thing I love about this game is that I can do something like that. And that it's, it's just great. Like, the combat is wonderful. And just, I mean, it's still missing a few things like line of sight. Would be great. Like having that actually
Yeah, I
prevent
definitely
you
would
from hitting
like
someone.
line of sight. That would be amazing.
I think that's my biggest gripe. Like my biggest gripe and my biggest like pro for the game would both be the same thing. Would be the combat system because it's just there's so much potential and it's so great already.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, in terms of line of sight, that's something that would be really, really interesting to put into the game and is very much needed, especially in like
Oh, yeah.
battlegrounds and arenas. That would just make, I think, positioning just that much more incredibly awesome. Because I mean, if you think about it, having a spell slinger shoot you through a wall is just like, why are you like a Jedi
They're
or
magic
something?
bullets.
Or
They're magic
So-
bullets.
Yeah.
They're
Because they're
magic
just
bullets.
that good.
So I had a brief stint in battlegrounds and in rated battlegrounds like threes, and I did notice that. But also think if you put in a line of sight, you really have to redo the current arena because if that's the case, that
Not really.
arena really it does because there's not a lot of not a lot of open spaces. It's all really narrow corridors, so it goes one of
that's the
two
point,
ways.
though.
Either long range, you're just gonna sit there and have a team of 3 espers just sit there and plink you a telekinetic strike from that little
No.
corridor, or it's just every warrior
ta-
in soccer
which-
just gonna.
Yeah,
direct
what are you
face.
talking about?
What are you
What
talking
corridor?
It's not a corridor. It's like the little corners in the
corridor?
arena. So if you look at the arena from the
It's
bottom,
a circle.
it's a circle. In the middle, there's a cross, right? And then you have little barriers on each side, right?
Yeah, and
There's not really much of an open shot area unless you're looking at these little like makeshift corridors. And that's the case. It's just funneling your enemy into those corridors. If you're long range, you just snipe them off.
Well, see, as someone who does arena pretty much solely, that's all I do, and like, I mean, it would definitely have to change up strategy, but it would really allow certain classes to be their class. Like a stalker and like an esper really would benefit from line of sight because a melee esper really relies on kind of kiting and doing quick turns and kind of keeping people, where they can hit them but where the other player can't. So having line of sight would really definitely benefit a lot of like the melee classes. Range classes already kind of have an advantage because of just the way the combat system works. and medics can go screw themselves because you're overpowered as crap. So
No, we're not. We're
yes,
wonderful.
yes, you are. It's
No,
okay.
we're great. Don't nerf medics.
Yeah. But buff medics, please. Just keep
Hashtag
buffing
buff
them.
medics.
Hashtag buff medics.
My
Heavens.
class needs a buff. Your class needs a nerf.
No, my class needs
Repeat.
all the buff.